Warning: this review contains major spoilers about the movie The Gallows. If you have not seen The Gallows yet, please click off right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, or now. Click that button below up here. There should be a X right here. So click that button if you have not seen The Gallows and don't want to be spoiled. Hello everybody, my name is the Review Man, and today I am reviewing the 2015 horror movie, The Gallows. I am reviewing the 2015 horror movie, The Gallows. This movie is about some kid, this boy named Charlie, that died in 1993 during a play of The Gallows, and he died during an accident because he wasn't really supposed to die, but he died because it was supposed to, the gallows was supposed to slip and give way so he'll be able to breathe, and all of a sudden and then that's where the first part of the movie ends. The next part is these people getting together to reenact the play. There's four main people you need to worry about, and those four main people are Reese. He's very important in the play, in the movie. Pfeiffer, she's important too. She's Reese's love interest. There's Ryan. He's the guy that's behind the camera, sort of like kid behind the camera, but he's behind the camera. He says, "Hey people, what's up? This is the Gallows." He's sort of like the person that sits up in the booth back here and records the play. He's sort of like the main technician guy thing. And then there's Cassidy. Cassidy is Ryan's girlfriend. She's a cheerleader airhead, and she's got a forehead the size of a football field. You can land an airplane on that thing. But anyway, that's besides the point. Those are your four main people in the movie. And then here's another important person in the movie. There's Rick Hauser. That's Reese's dad. Rick was supposed to die instead of Charlie. And Charlie's kind of pissed off at Rick for not taking his spot as Rick called out sick. Then Charlie stepped up on stage and he took over as the main guy. So anyway, Reese. So anyway, Ryan, Cassidy, and Reese, they decided to go back at night to wreck the stage. But like they always say in a horror movie, the killer has other plans. So they come back at night and try to wreck the stage of the gallows. And while they're wrecking the stage, they hear like all this noise going on. And so they go looking. They go they see lights falling, bottles dropping, all this other stuff. Things go bumping, things that are supposed to be standing still, they start going crazy. And yeah. And so they start running out the door at night, and all of a sudden, who do they see? They see Pfeiffer. And Pfeiffer was seeing the three people's cars in the parking lot, and they say, "What are you doing here?" "Oh, we're just here to rehearse some lines and all this other stuff." And so they head back out. They start to head back out the door. Reese is talking to Pfeiffer about what they're doing here. He's making up some story and all this other stuff. And so what happens is they go back up on stage, and the stage that's supposedly destroyed is automatically fixed. Everything's back to normal. They start freaking out. And then Ryan pulls down the gallows, and then all of a sudden they see the gallows just automatically tied up and ready for another hanging. And so, yeah. So they start exploring the school and try to find another way out because the door that came in, the door that's always open, is locked all of a sudden. Yeah. And so they start finding another way. Then they go like down this hallway. They start hearing this sound like a TV's on. And then they see the news report about Charlie's death. And so Reese looks at the screen. He's like, "Wait a minute, that dude looks familiar." And then he runs back to this hallway, and there's this picture of the original cast, and it turns out it's his dad. Turns out it's his dad that was supposed to die instead of him. So he figures out that Charlie's comes back for revenge because this because he wasn't supposed to be dead. Um, Reese's dad was, and so what happens next is you see Ryan. He's all by himself exploring like this whole part of the school. Then all of a sudden he looks up in the sky. He said, "What is that?" And he sees a dead body hanging there. And then he starts getting out of there. And then all of a sudden he sees himself up on stage, and he sees himself up on stage with everybody else. And so what he does is he's like, "I'm sick of you, Charlie. Come on!" And he climbs this ladder. He climbs the ladder. Charlie pulls him back, and he's got a broken leg, and they go find to get some help. Cassidy goes out with Reese and Pfeiffer, and then automatically the door closes. Then you see them. The next thing you hear is Charlie killing Ryan, and and he pulls him up in the air, and then they try to get in the door. They say, "Wait, we're trying to get in. We're trying to get in the door." And then the door just opens up all automatically. Sorry, getting a little bit excited. I got pretty scared during this movie. And then the door opens up automatically. They see Ryan's phone recording what happened to him, and they see him back. They see Ryan backing up, and then Charlie hanging him. Next thing we see is another scene where they're still trying to get out, and so they decided for some stupid reason, oh, let's pull the fire alarm. Maybe the police will hear us. And so they left Cassidy by herself. She was the next one to die. She's just sitting there crying, and she's like, she looks at the camera. And she looks at her neck, and she sees the gallows sitting. She sees the noose sitting right there. Pulls her back. Yeah, Charlie pulls her back. She's dead. And then the next thing you see is Reese and Pfeiffer up on stage, and and she just starts reenacting the play. They start reenacting, doing the lines from the play. And then they start reenacting the lines from the play. The play must go on. So Reese figures out that he's got to go up. The only way that they can stop Charlie is if they finish the play. Sorry. Yeah. And so they do the lines, and next thing you see is Charlie's ghost tying Reese's hands behind his back, and placing Reese's neck in the gallows. And then he just kills Reese. And then next thing you see is Pfeiffer doing a bow, and you see Charlie's ghost like right there beside her. And she just takes a bow. Then you hear clapping from the audience. Turns out it's Alexis. I think that's her name. Yeah, Alexis Ross, which is Charlie's girlfriend. And that's where the play part of the movie ends. And then next thing you see is this cop going into Pfeiffer's house. And then they're looking around. They're looking around everywhere. They're trying to make a connection. And it turns out that Pfeiffer is Charlie's daughter. Charlie and Alexis's daughter. And so the cop, he's putting two and two together. He's looking around at all this stuff of the gallows. And he's putting two and two together. And he looks at the TV, and it shows the play that Charlie died in. And he says, "Wait a minute, that's Charlie Grimmel." And you see Lexus and Pfeiffer looking at him. You really shouldn't say his name. And then next thing you see is the officer's partner get choked, and then they're still looking at the cop. The next thing you see is Charlie coming up and he kills the main cop, and that's where the movie ends with the title screen. It was a pretty good movie. I got some jump scares out of it. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. I'm the review man, and this is the Gallows. Like, comment, subscribe, guys, all that good YouTube stuff, and I will see y'all guys in the next video. Peace.